anatomy and physiology for the GNM first years, and in this we are going to discuss about the unit 7, that is digestive system. So till that salivary gland we have discussed, and now we will discuss about the pharynx. So pharynx also one of the part included in the digestive system. So we have already discussed about the pharynx in the respiratory system. So about the pharynx I will explain very briefly. So the pharynx means there is a, in detail already we have explained in the respiratory system. So I will explain very briefly about the pharynx. So the pharynx means it can be, it is 12 to 14 centimeters long. So the pharynx, it is become 12 to 14 centimeters long, and it can be situated or it can be extended from the base of the skull at the level of the sixth cervical vertebrae. So at the level of the sixth cervical vertebrae the pharynx can be situated. So the pharynx can be extends from the base of the skull and to the at the level of the sixth cervical vertebrae. So the pharynx, and it can be anteriorly the mouth and the nose, and the pharynx can be anterior part of the pharynx, it can be anteriorly the mouth and the nose can be situated, and there is a superiorly the base of the skull can be present. So the superior part of the pharynx, the base of the skull can be situated, and inferiorly the pharynx can be continuous with the esophagus. So inferiorly the pharynx can be continuous with the esophagus. Superiorly the base of the skull can be present, and anteriorly the mouth and the nose can be present. So inferiorly it can be continuous with the esophagus. And there is a next one is the pharynx consist of three types, and there is a oropharynx and the laryngopharynx and the nasopharynx. So the nasopharynx can be situated backside of the nose. So the nasopharynx can be situated at the behind of the nose. So backside of the nose it can be situated, it is called as nasopharynx. And the next one is the oropharynx. So the oropharynx, it is situated, it can be extends from the mouth, and it can be extend from the mouth and up to the level of the third cervical vertebrae. So it is called as oropharynx. And the next one is the laryngopharynx. So laryngopharynx can be situated or extends from the oropharynx. So the upper and the laryngopharynx can be connected with the oropharynx, and it can be continuous with the esophagus. So it is about the laryngeal pharynx. So laryngeal pharynx, it can be extends from the oropharynx, and it can be connected to the oropharynx, and it can be extend up to the level of the and it can be extends and continuous with the esophagus. So it is about the laryngeal pharynx. So the pharynx consists of three types, that is nasopharynx and oropharynx and the laryngeal pharynx. Nasopharynx, it can be situated behind the nose, and the oropharynx, it can be extend from the mouth and up to the level of the third cervical vertebrae. And next one is the laryngeal pharynx. So laryngeal pharynx, it can be connected to the oral pharynx and oropharynx, and it can be continuous with the esophagus. So next one is the functions about the pharynx. So the functions, it includes the pharynx can be help in the speech, and there is the pharynx also help in the swallowing of the food, and there is a humidification of the air, and there is a humidification and warming of the air during the inspiration and expiration. So it is about the functions of the pharynx. So it is about the brief explanation about the pharynx. So next we will discuss about the esophagus. So esophagus, it is the first part of the digestive tract. So esophagus is the first part in the digestive process, and there is it lies in the median plane in the thorax in front of the vertebral column. So the esophagus can be situated mid plane of the thorax, and there is a in front of the vertebral column. So the esophagus can be situated in front of the vertebral column, and there is a medial part of the thorax, and it can be esophagus lies in the medial plane of the thorax and the in front of the vertebral column and behind the trachea and the heart. So the behind the trachea and heart. So in front of the esophagus, the trachea and heart can be located. So behind of this, the esophagus can be situated. So behind of the trachea and the heart, esophagus can be situated, and it continues with the pharynx above and just below the diaphragm and join the stomach. So upper part of the esophagus is become pharynx, and just below the esophagus can be joins with the stomach. So that it is called as diaphragm. So the below part of the esophagus can be joins with the stomach, that is diaphragm, and the upper part can be continuous with the pharynx, and it passes between the muscle fibers of the diaphragm. So the esophagus can be passes between the muscle fibers of the diaphragm and behind the central tendon at the level of the 10th thoracic vertebrae. So the esophagus can be continuous and the continuous between the muscle fibers of the diaphragm and behind the at the level of the 10th thoracic vertebrae. So at the level of the 10th thoracic vertebrae, the esophagus will be end. So it is about the esophagus. So the esophagus, and there is a length of the esophagus is 25 centimeters or 10 inches, and the diameter is 1.5 to 2 centimeters. So the length of the esophagus become 25 centimeters or the 10 inches, and the diameter is 1.5 to 2 centimeters. So it is about the esophagus. It is the first part of the digestive tract, and it lies in the median plane in the thorax and in front of the vertebral column and behind the trachea and heart, and it continues with the pharynx and above just below the diaphragm it joins the stomach, and it passes between the muscle fibers of the diaphragm and behind the central tendon at the level of the 10th thoracic vertebrae. And the next one is the sphincters of esophagus. So the sphincters of esophagus. So sphincters means it can be open, become closed. So it is become orifice, opening. So the sphincter of esophagus means there is a open or closed during the physical functioning of the body. So the sphincters of esophagus, it includes the upper and lower end of the esophagus are closed by the two sphincters. So upper part of the esophagus and the lower part of the esophagus can be open or closed by the two sphincters. So the upper and the lower ends of the esophagus are closed by the two sphincters. So first one is the upper esophageal sphincter. So the upper esophageal sphincter is present at the superior portion of the esophagus. So the upper sphincter, the upper esophageal sphincter can be present at the superior portion of the, so upper part of the esophagus, the upper esophageal sphincter can be present. So upper part of the esophagus and the upper esophageal sphincter can be present, and it prevents the air passing into the esophagus during the inspiration and the aspiration of the esophageal contents. So what will happen means in the upper esophageal sphincter, it can be prevents the air passing into the esophagus. So during the inspiration and the aspiration, and the air cannot be enter into the esophagus. So it can be prevented by the upper esophageal sphincter. So during the inspiration and the aspiration, the upper esophageal sphincter become closed. So because of this, it can be prevents the air passing into the esophagus. So it is the upper esophageal sphincter. So it is present at the superior portion of the esophagus and it prevents the air passing into the esophagus during the inspiration and aspiration of esophageal contents. So it can be prevents the passing of air into the esophagus during the inspiration and expiration of the esophageal contents. So it is about the upper esophageal sphincter. So it is the sphincter means it is the closed and it is become closed and open during the physical functioning of the body. So after entering the food into the food and it can be hold into the stomach. So it can be hold into the stomach from the esophagus, it can be passes into the stomach. So next one is the lower esophageal sphincter. So next one is the lower esophageal sphincter. So lower esophageal sphincter is present at the junction between the esophagus and the stomach. So the lower esophageal sphincter, it can be present at the junction between the esophagus and the stomach. So there is a lower esophageal sphincter. So by this lower esophageal sphincter, if you are taking any food, it can be passes through the esophagus into the stomach. So the food materials can be digested in the stomach by the gastric secretions. So by the stomach secretions and the food can be digested in the stomach and digested food can be present in the stomach. So it can be held by the stomach. Digested food can be held by the stomach. So after the digestion, the food can be passes into the from the stomach to the duodenum. So from the stomach to the duodenum. So after the stomach, the duodenum can be present. So the digested food can be enter into the duodenum. So it prevents the reflux of the acid gastric contents into the esophagus. So what the function of the lower esophageal sphincter means, it prevents the reflux of the gastric acid contents into the esophagus. So reflux means there is a reflux means there is a backflow of the gastric contents. So there is a backflow of the gastric acid contents into the esophagus. So by the lower esophageal sphincter, it prevents the backflow of the gastric acid contents into the stomach. So into the esophagus. So if the lower esophageal sphincter cannot do its function, means what will happen means the backflow of the gastric acids and it causes the heartburn. So because of this, the lower esophageal sphincter has to be prevent the reflux of the gastric acid contents into the esophagus. So the reflux has occurred and it causes the heartburn. So it can be prevented by the lower esophageal sphincter. So upper esophageal sphincter, it prevents the air passing into the esophagus during the aspiration and the inspiration. Lower esophageal sphincter, it can be prevents the reflexes of the gastric acid contents into the esophagus. And the next one is the arterial supply. So the arterial supply, the blood can be supplied by the esophageal branches of the descending thoracic aorta. So the arterial supply, the blood supply to the esophagus can be by the esophageal branches of the descending thoracic aorta and the esophageal branches of the left gastric artery. So by the left gastric artery and the arterial blood supply to the esophagus. And the next one is venous drainage. So venous drainage, The veins of the esophagus drain partly into the portal and partly into the systemic circulation. So, the veins from the esophagus and the blood can be drained into the portal vein. So, it is a the blood can be carries from the GI system and gallbladder and the spleen and the pancreas. So, the portal vein it is become the blood can be carried by the veins from the GI system and the pancreas and the spleen into the liver. So, the esophagus can be drains the blood from the veins into the portal and partly into the systemic circulation. So, the drained blood can be enter into the portal vein and partly into the systemic circulation, and the veins from the upper part drain into the azygous venous system. So, the azygous venous system it can be situated, azygous vein it can be situated in the at the level of the thoracic vertebrae, and the veins can be run to the thoracic vertebrae. So, the veins from the upper part drain into the azygous venous system. So, upper part of the esophagus drains the blood into the azygous venous system, and the vein from the lower end drains into the portal vein. So, the lower part of the esophagus can drain the blood into the portal vein. So, it is about the venous drainage. The veins of the esophagus drain partly into the portal and partly into the systemic circulation. Half of the blood and can be enter into the portal vein and partly into the systemic circulation. So, upper part of the esophagus can drain the blood into the azygous venous system, and the lower part of the esophagus can be drained into the portal vein. And the next one is the nerve supply. So, the nerve supply it can be done by the autonomic nervous system. So, the autonomic nervous system it controls the functions of the body. So, the nerve supply it is by autonomic nervous system. So, it is about the esophagus.